Ah, the beauty of fog and desolation. A surefire cure for a case of the blues, as is the happy interior of this charming place, along with its lovely story. The area is covered in the perpetual fog that cloaks Far Harbour, which is where we are right now. Outside, a bus sits neglected, with the corpse of a soldier in it, and a ghoul I did not know was still alive when I started recording. Yes, it did make me near shit myself. We took a look at this place during the playthrough, but here it is, Beaver Creek Lanes, located just outside of Far Harbour. Let's take a gander. A ramp is lying on the steps leading up to the bowling alley, and is in fact not random. This ramp does play a role in the story of this place, and a sad story it is. Bar the very creepy Five Nights at Freddy's looking sign, the next thing of interest outside is on the roof. As you can see, a crane has went tits up and fallen through the roof, wrecking most of it and causing quite a bit of damage indoors, as we'll soon see. A torn up trapper is found here as well, most likely savaged by the ghouls present here. And he's not the only one. Now, for the inside. Immediately as we get inside, we find some patriotic posters. They are a common theme here, and it becomes clear why later on. We can see where the crane came through the floors and wrecked the place. Though first off, these corpses. Based on the gender and they seem to be holding hands, this was probably a couple out on a date. The other skeleton around the corner was maybe an employee, possibly in the process of serving these two. Then we take a look at the terminal. The first group of entries are to do with the bowling league. Number 1 is in the league rules. I know nothing of bowling, but a handicap has been put in place for the current champion, and we'll see the reason soon enough. Number 2 is in the league standings. The team names are given, with the only one jumping out at me being the Holy Rulers, which might be a Simpsons reference, but I'm not sure. The last one is in the scores and handicaps. Nothing jumps out at me, partly because I don't understand bowling, but we'll see these names crop up again. The next section is of employee memos. The first one talks about the vending machines. For the 5th time, someone has vandalized them, and this is not the only place on the island this has happened in. This is actually part of a larger story, so I will say no more. All you need to know is it's happening. Then we hear about a going away party. It appears this person, Thomas Davis, is leaving for some reason, military most likely, and Mark ruined the surprise party. Arsehole. The next one is 7 months later, and is about Thomas again, so something happened to him, and people wanted to know what. Daisy heard from her aunt and uncle that his destroyer went down, which means he was in the Navy. This happened 3 months before roughly, so he was MIA, but then they told his parents, which I assume were the aunt and uncle referred to, so Daisy must be a cousin. He's alive, but has suffered a bad spinal injury, and he may never bowl again, which means he was the person the handicap was likely put in place for. The second last one is about the dining hall. Something happened that almost involved a legal suit, and they used beer and free games to smooth it all over. It seems to have involved Matthew, Mark, and a ball return, or at least that is the story they're going with. Interesting. Thomas will be returning in December, and this was where the ramp came into play. The permanent one never seems to have been sorted. Then they talk about a launcher and how it can help Mark. We then get confirmation on the relationship, as her second name is Davis, the same as Thomas. The last entry is a few days before the bombs hit, and the alley has been closed, all because the roof is fucked. It appears the crane did fall through pre-war, and the place had to be closed for glaringly obvious safety reasons. People had to be let go, and were given references to help with getting other jobs. It appears Matthew was in charge at the time. Now this all leaves us with much to discuss, but what I want to know is why all these people were here if there was a fucking truck through the roof. Down near the sofas, we can get a better look at some more corpses. Some are ghouls, already dead when I got here, I swear. Some are people. These are definitely casualties of the bomb, as it looked like they nearly died mid-game, though why they were using these lanes, I have no clue. It also appears it was a double date of sorts, based on the number of people. There's also some drink. Perhaps these people broke in, or everyone was here for another reason. We can see the damage was extensive, so they probably should not have been here. Yet many pins are set up down the back, some still standing, somehow, even now. Going left, we come to a kitchen with some blood in it, most likely from the savage trapper, perhaps the partner of the one on the roof. No doubt the ghoul's doing, more blood can be found in the kitchen, but based on the age of the corpse and the coffee cup still propped up in the coffee maker, I think this one was also pre-war. So this seems to be the dining area, and a bowling ball is lying in the floor, cordoned off. I think this was part of the incident that almost killed Mr. Clark, especially considering they told the insurance company it involved a ball return. The hole in the wall is involved. The ball broke through it. Next up, the women's bathroom. So it's all normal until this shit. There's so much here, I don't even. So this chap tried to jam a pin down the toilet while placing a teddy with some sweets, and they had a bowling ball for God knows what. Based on this obvious vandalism and the gum, I think this may have been in some way related to the gum in the Vim machines, even though this took place a long time after. That, or they were just an ordinary prankster arsehole. The men's room is not much better. So these two died taking a piss. I can't really imagine a worse way to die. I mean, the fellow on the right, maybe just the blast or radiation, but the other one might have broken their neck on the urinal, and that is shit. Also, the shorter one was probably for kids. If we keep heading down that corridor, we come to a set of stairs with a discarded canister by them. This is important. Once we head upstairs, we come to the room where the bowling ball came flying out of. The device responsible was on this pedestal, the striker. A repurposed Fat Man. It's a miracle it didn't kill Mr. Clark. We can find out more from reading this terminal. So the first one is about the ball return. They had already attempted something with one of the lane launchers, but it was ruining the balls. Instead they opted for a Fat Man catapult. Well, nothing could go wrong there, I am sure. That also explains why there are several gas canisters lying around. The irony of their last statement is not lost on me. The next entry goes into detail about how they almost killed someone. They forgot to tweak it, and it almost killed Mr. Clark. Luckily enough, it only knocked him out of his chair, instead of, blowing half his body away. All this was for Thomas, which is outlined in the holotape here.
Gotta record this so I don't forget later. After we closed up for the night, Matt and I split a couple of pictures while cleaning the pin setters. We got to talking about Thomas. I just can't believe he's gonna be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And now, he ain't never gonna have the chance, to pull that perfect game he's been so close to. So it's like 2:45, and we're shooting the balls back up the return, and checking the motors and all, and we get this really good idea. So Thomas's arms still work, so maybe we could use one of them ball returns, but hook it up to a stronger motor, and mount it on a board or something. He could launch the balls out of it, and down the lane, it'd be like an awesome bowling gun. Yeah.
So all of those yeahs at the end were really creepy. I approve. So Matt and Mark just wanted Thomas to be able to bowl, even in his current state, and repurposed a small nuclear payload delivery device to do so. Genius! These two should work for Voltec. They would go far. Now, up to the next floor, take a look at this truck. On the way up, we can find a plunger and a broom ganging up on an innocent bucket. Fucking typical. So holy shit, it looks way worse down here. It's a miracle no one was killed. So the truck seems to have just pitched forward and came straight through the roof. Though given its size, I'm not sure why they put it up there in the first place. You don't need an engineering degree to tap into that sixth sense of, shit's gonna break if we put that there. If a child had died, that would have taught them what for, I'll tell you. Now, for the last thing to look at, the ball return area. So down here, among the pin machines, we find the remains of someone who died in the middle of their job. Which means some sort of work was still going on here, even up until the bombs hit. Though I'm not sure why. At least they didn't die in as bad a position as the two in the men's room. Beaver Creek Lanes. A quaint bowling alley with a banjaxed roof. It appears a crane or truck of some sort drove onto it, and then the whole thing just collapsed, which I am sure no one could have predicted. As a result, the bowling alley had to close. Yet when we came here, it's full of people playing some bowling, making repairs to machines or shoving crap down a toilet, possibly related to the whole Vim thing. Also found here corpses of several trappers who took up residence here, but seem to have been torn apart by the ghouls also present. Ha! There is a ramp out the front, which is only makeshift. The crane may have been part of the process to make a more permanent one, though I'd say it's a bit far to go just for a ramp. The ramp was for a former employee and bowler, Thomas. He needed it because of a spinal injury that he received in the service of the Navy, confining him to a wheelchair. Two of his friends and co-workers, Mark and Matt, wanted to help with this. Their solution? Ball launcher. They got an old fat man and rigged it up to fire bowling balls instead. During a test fire, they demolished part of the dining area and almost killed Mr. Clark, but in the end they got it to work, though Thomas never got it. The roof collapsed on the 19th and the war began on the 23rd. Now none of this explains why anyone was still inside, but I have a theory. There were a lot of people here, especially for a building impaled by a truck. Why would they all risk it? A homecoming party. Remember the bus outside, pulled up very close to the building? Remember the soldier we seen inside? I think that was Thomas. I wasn't able to find a wheelchair, but if it was him, it makes sense why everyone was here, to welcome him back. He was so close to the place he loved, and just missed his chance to wield the tool his friends had made for him, and maybe bowl that perfect game. A place where bowling occurred, and the story of a man who loved it. I hope you liked this look at all of it. If you did like it, give the video a like. And if you want regular updates, subscribe. Any suggestions for lower or future videos should be left in the comments below. Better yet, go onto my subreddit so we can discuss them in detail. It's linked in the description. If you wish to, you can support me on Patreon. $1 or £1, I ask for no more. If you have any suggestions for rewards you would like to see there, please message me and I'll take them into consideration. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get regular updates or have a wee chat. Any business you wish to discuss, email me at thenthapple.business@gmail.com and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.